All righty. Aloha, everyone, in another level living land. So happy that you're here for another episode of Freedom Fridays. We are in for an amazing treat because today is all about automation, the essential keys to automating any business. And, here at the Freedom Friday show, we talk about business and life harmony, right? And one of the keys ways to work smarter, not harder, stress less, and strengthen our relationship, lead with much more energy, ease, and momentum is by having our processes and our systems set up to be able to be that extension of us. And I have an amazing special gift for you because there's an amazing lady here who's going to share with us more about this automation power. I want you to give a warm another level living welcome to Anna Brooks. And she is a widow, a mom, a grandmother, a great grandmother with talent for designing costumes for dance, pageants, and performance. She loves gardening and a good warming fire in the cool Colorado evenings where she is, and her real passion for home-based businesses and their success. And she does this by helping us be able to what we've been talking about actually over the last month of controlling the squirrels, right? She helps us do that with giving us that wise counsel that she is. So Anna, thank you so much for coming and blessing us with your presence today. So happy you're here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Heather. I know we've talked about this a little bit, but I've been very excited. I've watched some of your interviews and attended your networking events. And, it's a very positive path that you're on, but it's tangible. I mean, you help people with tools that they can actually use to move forward. And I so appreciate the opportunity just to speak to you and your folks.
Oh, thank you. It is such my honor and pleasure. They know that I bring them nothing but the best, right? And the fact that you are here to be able to share this wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember when I first met Anna, we were like, okay, we have to talk, right? We had this amazing conversation and the wisdom, like you see the owl in her background, she has so much wisdom that's not even funny. Like the nuggets that she dropped in that conversation, I'm like, you have to be on my show. So Anna, tell us what got you into this? What is the maybe even the need behind this automation and what kind of led you here to share this message?
Well, I'm going to go way back.
Okay.
I was a top woman executive in corporate America for over 20 years. And then I met this wonderful man who owned his own business. And so we're cooking along, and all of a sudden I'm pregnant. At 40 years old, I'm pregnant. I'm like, what kind of a guy is this? Anyway, he said, why don't you stay home, raise the baby, and help me with my business? And I had done some direct sales before, in the areas of lingerie and makeup and that kind of thing. And I hadn't really pushed it a lot because it was a side hustle and I was working full time. So I said, yeah, at least I know enough to be dangerous. Oh boy, did I not know what I was getting myself into. The small business community is the heart of our country, and it's the heart of most countries. And they're always the number one taxpayer, the number one employer, the number one producer in every single country. But by virtue of being a small business, we don't have representation for legislation at all. And I got involved in that process. And I started discovering there are basic tools that every business needs, and small business is priced out of. Wow. So I started doing a lot of research. I actually, blessings of God, I was chosen as an SBA Award Winner for Women in Business Advocacy because I was so passionate, both on TV and in the news and stuff. I was passionate that people who start a small business know the basic resources that you need, however that they could get them, and in what order to add them. And I was, really passionate about it. And so I've been doing this for about 35 years.
Nice.
And I ran my husband's business. He had a side hustle, and I was running my side hustle besides his business. And I learned a lot. And I got excited about what it does for a family to have a side hustle.
Awesome.
Then I realized that this has been going on for generations. Generations. Women or someone in the family has always, sold extra food, had an extra garden for something, sewed clothes, ironed clothes. I mean, there's always someone with a little side hustle. So we're not unique. We're just unique in the fact that we have technology. And the key things for a small business were really very basic. We need great advice. We need to work with people who understand our vision and have knowledge and experience that we can draw from. And you know what that is? That's
What?
an advisory board, a board of directors.
I'm going to pause you there first of all, such a profound story and beginning, that journey to being able to recognize, hey, this is something that we're done. It's not new. It's just a new light, right? And a lot of times, one of the things that I hear, you've heard of the statistic, 95% of businesses fail within the first couple of years. There's this desire to give up. There's this desire to throw in, or it's too hard. And a lot of it has to do with this solo battle, thinking that only the answer, right? And so the beautiful part of being able to recognize,
or you're the only person who can research it. So you spend more time doing that than doing your business.
Exactly. And so it takes a team, like they say how it takes a village to raise a baby. Well, our businesses are like a baby,
Absolutely.
So this is so good. Well, tell us, because I'm sure that we're waiting to hear, what is this key essential tool to be able to automate any business?
We're going to get there.
Okay.
But like anything else, there are certain things that you need to be aware of before you get to that point.
Okay, tell us.
Okay. So board of directors, where do I find people who will volunteer to mastermind with me about my business? Well, by virtue of being a small business, you're isolated. So join associations, small business communities, chambers. You can go larger, national associations. There's some wonderful NFIB, NAVO, eWomen. I mean, there's some national organizations that will give you a network of people that will support what you're doing. And you can draw from that. People like Dr. Heather and I, when we met, it was just like, there's a symbiotic relationship. We knew it right away. Trust your gut. You will meet people that will help you with your business. And what a blessing to have that kind of wisdom. So you're drawing from that. In the process, you need to keep in mind that there are some things that a business runs on that you may not know. You love what you do, but you don't love the business part of it. Bookkeeping. Oh, gosh. I passed that class twice, straight A's, but I cannot manage my own money. I cannot bookkeep my own money. And you know what? You shouldn't. If you think about that, that's how people get into trouble with embezzling, with understanding what money counts where, where it should be placed, that kind of thing. You should know how to read the reports so you can make decisions based on those reports.
So let me pause you for a moment, because there were two great points that you mentioned already. One is having this board of directors. Okay, so a lot of times, when we get the vision for a business, the vision could be like in the silo, right? It might not even be supported by even those around us, because they just don't get it, or they didn't get the vision, or they don't even understand what you're doing, right? So being able to have that environment, these other places that you can go to be able to get that fuel that you need to continue is so profound. And
you'll have the opportunity to act on their boards and be able to share the amazing knowledge that you gain as you go along.
Oh, so good.
We all have different strengths.
Yes. And it takes the body, right? You're adding to the body.
There you go. Well put. Yes.
Well, and the other part that you had mentioned, what was so good was, for example, these other pieces that we don't even know that we need. And I think one of the biggest things that sometimes get in people's way, not only is like what's going on, but also what's happening even in their perception of money. So it's like these perceptions, the beliefs about it. Well, that having someone be able to help you with that part, then you can remove yourself from that and just be able to show up. Like we only have so much time, right? Which is why I guess you talk about too many hats.
That's what I talk about every day. Yes. I don't help people manage time.
Yeah,
I help them manage what they put into their time, because we all have the same 24 hours a day.
exactly.
And that's what I learned from the multimillionaires I have worked with, either directly or indirectly, over the last 30 years.
Okay.
So we're bookkeeping, counting the numbers. We got to keep track of it, but we don't have to do every bit of it. And it's much more effective if you either have a bookkeeper to bounce it off of, or a CPA to help you read the reports and understand what your decisions making. Money is critical. Everyone out there who makes over $1 million will tell you the hardest thing and the most important thing for every person to do is to pay themselves first. And it doesn't matter if it's $5, if it's 5%, if it's 10%, it doesn't matter. Start paying yourself and putting that money in a spot that you don't look at it.
Yes.
And build that. I mean, it doesn't matter how small, let it build over time. And when emergencies happen, you have that pocket. The pocket you never look at, except when you can't look at anything else. You have no other options.
Oh, so good.
We need to have 2 to 3 months of what we call regular income stored away for emergencies. I thought that was impossible. Honestly, what did I think? Money grows on trees. I spend every cent I have, every paycheck. That's how I thought. But by putting a little bit away, the more I put away, when an emergency came up, I made a decision. Was it worth pulling out what I pay me for my work? Or do I borrow or find another method?
So good.
But it was a choice then. It wasn't, I don't have any options. It became a choice. And then this lady taught me, this little old lady, I'm telling you, she was like 90 years old, and we're sitting in a doctor's office and we're talking about money. And she said, "Oh, honey," she says, don't you just run across things that you want to just buy? I just, if I had the money, I would buy this. And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I keep $100 bill in my wallet, because then I can look at that thing and say, I have the money to buy it. Do I really want it?"
Mm.
And it becomes a choice.
Well, and it was so interesting because I was just telling someone that very thing the other day. A lot of times they're receiving money just to be able to give out and take care of everything else. But then they miss the most important part of being able to have money for themselves. And if I talk about self-care, like y'all have already heard self-care.
The Bible does too.
Right.
And that includes money. Self-care includes money.
It does. Oh, so good. So good. Okay, so what else do we need in place so we can get to this essential key? Because
we absolutely have to have legal counsel.
Okay.
And there are legal service plans for small business owners, some as little as $40 a month, where you can call and get advice. But you need to be able to call someone who doesn't have a financial interest in the outcome to ask your legal questions. And sometimes not even legal questions, just, I got this thing in the mail, I don't know what it says, and having it reviewed to see if it's something you even need to pay attention to. But to be able to pick up the phone, call a licensed attorney, and get a legal answer that you can depend on beats the heck out of Googling for information or asking your friends and family. Not everybody has had that experience,
and it
or has the same options.
It creates a safety net too, because how often do people wait until there's a situation and then it's like, oh, I gotta find a lawyer, as compared to being able to have.
Let's go back to the beginning of that. Do rich people have attorneys? Well, yeah,
They have a team, I'm sure.
yeah, exactly. I mean, rich people, they call attorneys all the time. They have retainers. What?
Mhm.
But are they in trouble?
No.
No, because they call for advice and counsel before they get in trouble. They're not calling because they're going to, the police are on the at the front door. They're not calling because they've been in an accident. They're not calling because, somebody's suing them. Their questions all become a preventive action to prevent those situations. My landlord said, hey, I've got mold in my basement. My landlord's not doing anything about it. What kind of advice do I need?
Oh,
What can I do? What can't I do? I'm running a small business out of my home. Tax questions. What can I do? What can't I do? What can I deduct? Can I not deduct? How simple it would be if we could just pick up the phone and call an attorney. And that's one of the things that I researched. And I found an amazing program. I've been with them for 18 years. My first time using them, we were facing bankruptcy and losing our home and my husband's business. On
mm,
the first day I used the service, they collected $3,500 that I had not been able to collect for 6 months.
wow.
Uh, like, and it didn't cost me anything except the membership.
Oh, so good.
But being able to call and ask those questions is critical. The next
Yeah,
area is organization. We need to be organized and systematic in what we do.
organization.
And that's hard to do when you're running a family and a business, and probably like you, a little volunteer work, because that's how we are. We do volunteer work. That has to be accounted for in our time as well.
That's so good. That's so good. I was just talking to another friend about that today. I'm like, you're so busy doing everything for this.
Yeah,
What
and
about what
it
you're
feels like it's all going out.
Yeah.
And you've got to fill, I mean, the Lord tells us to take care of ourselves first. That includes our time management and our time in our day, how we manage what goes into our time, what our priorities are. And by the way, you made a comment about Google. I love the Google Calendar because it's color coded. I can
Mm-hmm.
go in and color code things, and I teach on that every month. I do a class teaching on that particular calendar, journaling, and structure to build a daily habit that
Nice.
millionaires use all the time. And honestly, don't millionaires have more than 24 hours in a day? They get so much more done.
They do.
How does that happen? They
They
always have
really
time. They're on the beach having time. How in the world do they do that? Because there's a science behind it. And I teach that science.
So
That is the first. Go ahead.
tell us about your class. Like you have that is this the too many hats class?
Too many hats, not enough time.
Okay.
A friend of mine had me write a little chapter in this book, the WPN Experts book from Itty Bitty Publishing. Too many hats, not enough time. Of course, it's very basic. There's 15 experts giving you the golden nuggets that have made a difference in their business, hoping it will help you in yours. And love doing it. But man, I wanted to put so much more into it. So immediately we put together Too Many Hats class, where we not only do a 45-minute micro class. We do not do 2 hours, 4 hours. We don't teach long like that, but 45 minutes. We give you the basics, a color legend, some networking help, a free book included, along with other services. So we can start you on that habit. And then we have an accountability program every Sunday night for half an hour. You can Zoom in and ask your questions about being accountable, saying, well, like me, this week I've had 4 major issues slap me upside the head, and so I didn't keep to my calendar when those things happened. But because I had been maintaining my calendar on a regular basis, when I came back to work this morning, I could start where I was, look back and see what I had to reschedule, and get started again. because it's already scheduled out because of that habit. So
You
I'm
know,
not panicky.
it makes me think about how when people go on vacation, right? And there's all this busy work beforehand. And then when they get back, they're inundated with all this stuff, right? And you
Exactly.
described a situation, not the same, obviously, it wasn't a vacation, but when you were able to pause, there wasn't this overwhelm when you came back because of the
Be,
organization, because of the
be,
clarity
because of the system.
and the
And so what we do is we help you streamline, systemize, and then we can automate, because the tools that micro technology has put together over the last 5 to 7 years, I mean, literally, you don't have to pay big bucks for a website. You don't have to pay big bucks for an SEO to take care of that website. You don't have to pay big bucks for the exposure. There are tools that you can literally use from your telephone and your laptop for less than $30 a month and have landing pages. You can have your store on this document. I mean, and you can share it by phone. You know, somebody wants your information, you literally can go like this, push a button, here, put in your information. They put in their information, you push it, and they get it right to their phone.
Nice. So
Micro technology is our hero right now.
and I'm going to put the link in the chat as well for y'all to be able to take a hold of and come to Anna's class. She has it every month, this micro class. And these things that you're hearing, it'll be insane for you not to check it out and be able to see. Because the good thing is, like, I mean, I remember even when we had our conversation, you were like, hey, do you have a digital card? I'm like, oh, what the heck is a digital card? She's like, oh, what's this thing? So all these little pieces.
And I sent you a little link, and what you saw was like a mini website, right?
Exactly.
And for anyone who's watching, that little link is annaandbrooks.com. There's no HTTPS, no www, no website. No. AnnaandBrooks.com will take you right to my hub digital business card, which is kind of like the central of who Anna Brooks is.
Well, that's what I was going to get ready to ask you is where can they find more information about you? So she just answered the question that was coming up. Go to AnnaandBrooks.com to be able to get more connected with her. And then she has a link there to be able to register for the masterclass and get to know more about her as well.
Yeah, just push a button, it'll take you right there. And remember, every button that you push, I mean, some of them are free items. Please register for the free items, get the free items, because I want small business to succeed big time, because that is the heart of our country. And as long as small business stays strong, our country and our families will too.
Oh, so good. So good. So I got a question for you. Did we get to the key? Like, what would be, I guess.
What is the number one thing?
Yes. I told you I've been waiting for it. I know that.
Okay.
But all the stuff before was so good. So it's adding up. I know this is just going to blow everything out.
Well, we talked about organization. We slid right into time. Organization. How many people are using HubSpot, SurveyMonkey? What's the MailChimp? All of these little softwares that we pay monthly fees for, little apps that we pay monthly fees for, that we still have to go in and set up. You know, you have to have a bookkeeping program. You have to have a website program. You have to be able to host the website. You know, you've got events coming up. There's a lot of things that have to go with an event, whether, and it's different if it's Zoom or if it's live face-to-face. And there's checklists and all that kind of stuff, but there's softwares and you pay for them and you pay for them and you pay for them. In the end, you're paying almost as much as a big business owner does to hire somebody to develop that software and customize it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, micro technology has given us those tools. There is actually a central operating system for micro to small, medium businesses, entirely online, on the cloud, includes 50 plus different apps For those who do podcasts and events and, your customer relations manager, they can literally take whatever you have on your Google list or, I'm trying to think, Keep, Infusion, all those different softwares. They can literally pick that information up and put it into your office. Then they can customize it. They help you customize it so it fits your business and your needs. You're not trying to fit your stuff into somebody else's design.
And what is the name of?
I'm not going to give away the name. No.
You're not gonna give me. Okay,
No.
you know what? All
I
right,
want
so
you to book a
everybody who's
call.
listening, you got to
Book
book
a
a
call.
call with Anna, right? Be able to figure out what she's doing,
Get the
and go to
invite.
the macro class to get the advice, to get the wisdom that she has.
But I can tell you that I paid for subscriptions and apps. I was well over $500 a month. And I thought that was pretty reasonable. $500 a month. I thought that was pretty reasonable, but it was still money going out to someone else. When I was introduced to this program, I joined their mini class, which took me about, I think, 4 months. I did the research. I did the research on this hard. And when I went through that program, I said, every small business in the world has got to have a look at this, because it took those $500 and $500+ in applications and subscriptions down to the $100 I pay Microsoft for MS 365 and another $40 a month.
So everyone who's listening to this, I'm sure, especially as an entrepreneur, I was actually able to control a lot of my systems down into like 2 or 3 things. But I know that before, when I was in the busy and the confusion, having more systems created more chaos.
Right? And the need for more people to help you with your systems.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You're hiring people to come in and help you with your systems. You should be hiring people to monitor your automation, to do the automation part. And you should just receive the reports.
Okay. And then, you know what makes me think of, Anna, hold on. This is really good. And then we can be able to sit on our throne like the royalty that we are, and just allow ourselves to receive and easily give. Like, you know what?
Exactly how God designed it.
Exactly how God designed it. All right, Anna, we got to hear it close, because this was just so good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put the links to Anna's her not website, her digital card, where you're going to book some time with her, and you're also going to be able to click and get access to her micro class that she runs, so we can be able to continue on this level of wisdom. But before we close today, Anna, I want to hear, what would be like one of the biggest takeaways that you would want to leave us with today?
Okay, I'm going to inject this really quickly because it sounded really rude that I didn't mention the name of the software. And I'm going to explain why.
It's okay.
Because I'm not an affiliate for this company. And you could go, no, I'm serious. I'm not an affiliate for this company. And I don't want to be. Okay. I can be. Oh, they'd offer it to me. But I do not want to be locked into that. But I do know that it will take setup. And there are companies that will help assist you with the setup. And they all have different rates. I don't want you going in and jumping in and saying, hey, this is the coolest thing ever. Anna said it was great, so I'm going to buy it. I want you to know what you're getting into. So if you would like an invitation to our next overview for this software, book a call with me, spend a few minutes with me, and we'll get you on with a team of individuals that literally saved my business, generated my business, and seriously grows my business every single month. They're amazing and they are the best. But I don't want you to get lost in another app or another thing and not have the support. That's why.
So let me just.
I want you to succeed.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. One of the things that it just definitely makes so much sense. Notice how what she just said, it's because she has your best interest at heart. That's one of the things I could feel the aloha from you when we first met. The fact that there is the best interest at heart, because how many times do we have these interactions, and unfortunately not everybody has their best interest at heart. It's like
it's all about making a sale.
But it's not about that. It's about the relationship. It's about the connection. It's about the ability to really create the firm foundation.
It's all about people. In fact, it's all about individual people. Don't settle for generic. Don't settle for general stuff. Or we're going to, mass, what do they call it? Mass advertising. Meet the people, talk to the people, see if there's a fit. And I know people book hour-long discovery calls. Oh, come on, Dr. Heather. The fact is, within the first 15 minutes if this is someone you can work with. So don't make your appointments for an hour long. Make it for 15 minutes. Then you have time for 3 or 4 appointments.
Aw, I love it.
You can help more people.
That's what it's about. The more the people that get our message, the better.
And remember always, we're in business to have fun, to do what we do well, and to choose who we work with. You do not have to work with anybody you don't want to.
That's what I love about being a business owner. Anna, thank you so much for blessing our stage today. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you we were in for a treat. I want you to put in the chat below, what was your biggest takeaway from this message today? I mean, she shared so much wisdom. Also, take action on clicking on the link, so therefore you can be able to get connected with Anna, because I introduced you to people, and this is just the beginning. Continue the journey with them, because the power is in the follow-up. I wanted to say if you got the amazing nuggets, but I know that you did. So whatever amazing
But if you didn't, go back and listen again.
And if you didn't, go back and listen again and continue on the journey, because the best is just yet to come. And Anna, we're just so grateful that you had blessed us here today. It's been an amazing, amazing time with you. I know every time I do this, I always grow and I evolve, and they're going to be seeing me in the master class too, your micro class as well. And so it's just the beginning of something even more beautiful.
Dr. Heather, think of me in the future. Let's stay in touch. This has been an amazing experience. I'm looking forward to it. Just want to mention, if you want to learn more about Seek Wise Counsel, go to the YouTube channel, Seek Wise Counsel.
Yes. So
my granddaughter developed that for me, and let me
just tell them what that is.
And my son made the logo behind me.
So
he did that for me.
See, it's a family-owned business here, ladies and gentlemen. The
Use their
website
skills
for her YouTube channel, and I don't know if you have it on your digital card yet, but it's at youtube.com. You just put in @SeekWise Counsel, and you'll be able to get there.
Yes. Thank you so much, Heather.
You're so welcome, everyone. Good to see you all, and we'll look forward to seeing you again for another episode of Freedom
Listen to the doctor.
Fridays. Peace.